NISA, the National Independent Soccer Association, is coming to Chicago. Okay, cool. I mean, it's not the USL team we've been hearing about for years, but hey, another pro soccer team in Chicago? Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Now, one of the first things this new club did was make a bracket-style tournament of potential team names, and they let the fans vote to pick the name. The day that was announced, I tweeted out this: I applaud the sheer number of options, both Americanized and traditional European choices, as well as letting the fans pick. But good lord, diverse Chicago? Chicago Knuckles? Chicago Wild Onions? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah, not my best tweet. I got some pushback. I got clowned. And you know what? I deserve that. I mean, yeah, some of these names are absolutely ridiculous. But why do I care? At the end of the day, they're getting fan input on the identity for the team. That's awesome. It's more than what a lot of MLS teams do. The name they ultimately went with was Chicago House AC. I'll let you know my thoughts on that later. But for now, let's talk about NISA. Because, like the tweet about naming the new Chicago team, I think I've had the wrong attitude towards this league. I mean, we all know Euro snobs can be pretty annoying, but I've realized over the last 2 years of making videos that I've sort of become like an MLS snob, at least towards NISA. But why? Well, for one thing, I'm an MLS fanboy. Yeah, bet you couldn't figure that one out. When a new league comes in, I guess I just saw it as competition, and maybe I didn't want it to succeed. The other reason why I turned my nose up on NISA is because it had a really rough start. It fell on its face coming out of the starting blocks. Real quick, shout out to Jadabity TV. He has a video explaining the differences between NISA and USL, and it helped me a lot with this video. Check out that video in the description, and also give that guy a sub. He deserves it. Anyways, the original idea of NISA was that it was going to be a feeder league into the NASL. Yes, we were finally going to see promotion relegation tried out in this country. But then, the NASL folded. Again. Now, NISA still announced intentions for promotion and relegation, but they wanted to build a solid foundation first, somewhere in the ballpark of 24 teams. Okay, fair enough. But then, one of the co-founders, Jack Cummins, sadly passed away from complications from the flu. And then another co-founder, Peter Wilt, the first ever president and GM of the Chicago Fire, left the NISA project to go start up Forward Madison of USL 1. Originally, the plan was to have 12 teams for the inaugural season in 2018. In reality, the first season was in the fall of 2019, with just 8 teams. But it wasn't really a season, it was a showcase season, basically just a bunch of glorified friendly matches. And it wasn't really 8 teams, because one of the teams, the Philadelphia Fury, had to pull out after 1 game, because they couldn't pay their players. Also, I'm not sure I would have gone to markets that already have MLS teams. Okay, I know, competition is a good thing, and I know some markets can have multiple teams from multiple different leagues, but Atlanta United owns Atlanta. I don't think that should be a very controversial take. Atlanta SC stood no chance, as evidenced by the fact that they pulled in less than 300 in attendance during the season. Now, one of the positives that I can't overlook was the Oakland Roots. Brand new team, brand new league, and they pulled in over 5,000 a game. Considering the circumstances, I'd say those are great numbers. Right? Who knew Oakland was such a soccer city? Now, heading into the spring season for 2020, the league started to build some momentum. While there were still just 8 teams, the foundation was now much stronger, as both Detroit City and Chattanooga FC joined NISA. both Detroit and Chattanooga were already established teams with great fan bases. And this was fantastic for the league, as it really gave them more credibility. And then, the pandemic, and, well, yeah, spring season was canceled. Fast forward, fall 2020, they announced a 8-team tournament to be played in a bubble in Detroit, similar to the MLS's back tournament. But before that, they held the NISA Independent Cup, which was a series of regional tournaments that featured teams from NISA, the NPSL, UPSL, and Gulf Coast Premier League. While there were only 3 to 4 teams competing in a region, I actually think this is a really cool idea. And if they can expand on it, I would love to see this kind of series continue. After the Independent Cup, the NISA bubble plays out, and from what I could tell, everything ran pretty smoothly. And it seems like NISA is starting to figure it out. Again, that first year was a little brutal. Besides highlights on YouTube, I've only really watched one full game beginning to end, and I know that's not near enough time to make a full judgment on the league, but from what I can tell, the level of play, it's USL 1. Like, everyone on the field is competent, and it's really not a bad watch. Okay, another quick shout out. Spencer Moeller, he's a soccer YouTuber who recently signed a contract to play for the LA Force. He's got a lot of videos of his time in NISA, and it's really interesting to see it all play out. Go check out his videos and also sub to his channel. You won't regret it. Anyways, now I would say my biggest critique on NISA is that I have no idea what the plan going forward is. Like, I have read every word on the NISA website and I am still confused. Is the Independent Cup still going to be a thing, or was that like a one-time deal? Because the website has nothing about 2021, it just has the results from 2020. Like, I don't know, a coming soon would be nice, or hey, if there isn't any plans for it to come back, then how about you don't feature it on the front page of the website? And how about promotion relegation? Can we maybe get a timeline for when that might happen? And what is the plan on how to implement it? Because from what I understand, it's not going to be like the typical pro rel that we all think of. You know, like a NISA 1, NISA 2, etc. No, instead, they have what's called NISA Nation. Just like the Independent Cup, it's going to be affiliate leagues that are regionally based. To be fair, I don't think this is a bad strategy. I mean, NISA right now is considered third tier. If you want to have lower divisions than that, you probably don't want to send teams from Florida all the way to California, especially when you're only paying players something like $1,500 a month. But how would it work? Is it like the top team from each region gets promoted, or is it going to be like a playoff thing? I don't understand. Help me out here. I think they've got a good foundation going, as they're already affiliated with the Gulf Coast Premier League, the Midwest Premier League, the Mountain Premier League, and the Eastern Premier League. But where do we go from here? Like, there is still a lot of work to be done. A lot of work needs to be done on the NISA website, too. Okay, I know, it seems like I'm nitpicking here, but as someone with a history in multimedia, this website pisses me off. Like, why do the NISA Atlanta and NISA Providence links just direct you back to the NISA front page? Maybe don't include those if you don't have anything to say. And how about this link to the NISA network? I'm assuming this is where you're supposed to go for all the latest NISA news, but the latest article was from July 2020 about the Independent Cup. Really, guys? Like, you gotta be more on top of this. And what's up with this graphic? Okay, so there's 2 buttons, January and December, but like, what does it mean? There's no explanation on what's going on. What is the plan with this? Someone help me out. This is just weird. In NISA's defense, this is a massive task. I mean, trying to implement true promotion and relegation in this country when there's already other leagues that you have to compete with, not easy. On the NISA website, it says no expansion fees, no franchise fees. The fees to join MLS turn off a lot of people. And I think it's very noble that NISA is trying to open the system and not make it about who has the deepest pockets. But now here's my question. Where is the money going to come from to support this league? I mean, most teams play in stadiums that hold under 5,000 spectators. And they don't exactly have a lucrative TV deal going on with beIN Sports. Plus, they're losing teams at the same rate that they're gaining them. I mean, they just lost the Oakland Roots to USL. That's a pretty big blow. The New York Cosmos are also on hiatus. Look, I'm not saying it's impossible for this league to make it. I'm just saying it's going to be tough. NISA is trying to change the game here in the US by, well, making it more like the rest of the world. Or at least a closer version to the rest of the world. Again, I do think that's pretty noble. I don't think we should be hating on them for that. And I don't think we should be hating on the level of play either because, well, the league is only a few years old. I think we can hate on the website, and I think we can all wish that we had more updates on what the plan is moving forward, but let's not totally dismiss this league. Now, Chicago House AC. No, not my favorite name, but I'll take this 1,000 times over another FC or City or United, like Chicago House. You gotta admit, it's pretty unique. Now, I don't like the green and orange colors. I just don't think they go well together, and the badge itself also doesn't really do it for me. I mean, I see the symbolism. I get what they were going for. It just falls a little flat for me. Am I going to be a Chicago House fan? Well, I'm a CJ Brown fan. He's the first House manager and one of my all-time favorite Chicago Fire players, and I'm definitely going to be rooting for him to succeed. I saw in this Zoom meeting that they're going to be focusing on recruiting players from the Chicago area that haven't been discovered yet. That's actually really awesome because there's a ton of talent in Chicago and far too many people slip through the cracks because of the current system. I'm gonna try my best and watch some house games this year. I mean, if they're playing at the same time as the Fire, I'm gonna pick the Fire every time, but it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. So NISA, I'm sorry I wrote you off earlier. That's kind of rude on my part. My bad. Good luck with everything, though, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.